Hey, welcome back to Paranoid Disposition.
This is our third episode, and we're going to be delving into a specific MK Ultra victim and their involvement with a certain government administration. We touched on her in our last episode.
This is a subject that is very important to Alex. He has a long history of worshiping her. He even was once arrested while trying to procure one of her CDs. I am, of course, referencing Britney Spears.
Or too many, Godney.
Do you want to get us started, Alex?
Yeah, okay. So let's go back a little bit. Let's go to the very beginning.
Back to the beginning.
Back to the very beginning. So Britney Jean Spears was born December 2nd, 1981 in Mississippi and later moved to Kentwood, Louisiana. Mm-hmm. From an early age, her mom started grooming her to become a performer.
Stage mom.
Yeah. Well, supposedly her mom had some talent, but she was living vicariously through her daughter.
Ah, typical.
So starting at age 5, they started taking her to like county fairs, pageants, and everything for her to perform. She eventually landed on Star Search and then tried out for the Mickey Mouse Club, but she didn't get on the very first time.
No, I think she first auditioned at age 8.
Yeah, and then she auditioned again in 1993 when she was 11, and that's when she got the part.
Okay, I think it was 92.
92. Oh, wait, no, 1993. That's when she went off. No, it was 1993.
93. See, I actually kept finding, like...
Maybe it was 92.
No, the information was very, like, muddied. Like, different sites said different years. Well, let's just say the early 90s was when she started with the Mickey Mouse Club.
Well, on April 24th, 1993, Kentwood, Louisiana called that day Britney Spears Day.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's when they shipped her off to go to the Mickey Mouse Club.
Okay, so that's like her, like when she officially started, I guess. Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
So then they just shipped her off to Orlando. I believe it was Orlando where they filmed the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Along with a lot of other notable celebrities nowadays, like Christina Aguilera,
Justin Timberlake,
J.C. Chazez? One of the instant was. And of course, Ryan Gosling.
I always forget about Ryan Gosling. I always remember Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera, in addition, obviously, to Britney Spears. But I always forget about Ryan Gosling. I always think of him as more of like a romantic comedy heartthrob than like as like a song and dance kind of guy. Like, imagine if Ryan Gosling had grown up to be a pop star. That would have been so weird. He would not be as attractive. Like, he would not have those "Hey Girl" memes if he had become a pop star.
What kind of alternate reality would that be?
He would have burned out, and we'd be talking about him right now.
Remember when I went on that huge drug binge? No, this is a joke, everybody.
I was looking at him like, wait, what's happening now?
Not going to start any rumors.
Where are we going?
But anyway, so she performed on the Mickey Mouse Club, which we could actually do a whole episode just on that.
Yeah, there is a lot of like occult stuff surrounding Disney and the Mickey Mouse Club in general. I mean, just like briefly, there is some ties between Disney and MK Ultra and the experiments. But as I said, we'll go into that more later.
But after 2 seasons, the show was canceled, and Britney went back to Kentwood. Her family lost their regular income because they were dependent on Britney.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Her dad actually tried to convert an old barn into a gym, but it failed.
To, like, have people come work out in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was, like, one of those things where they're, like, making a gymnasium for their daughter to...
No.
Okay. Oh, that's sad.
They were trying to start a business. Her dad actually had to start driving to Mississippi for a job just so they can make ends meet.
Yeah, I did read that her family was, like, very low income, and they were, like, had a history of substance abuse and violence.
Which is perfect for MK Ultra.
It is perfect. You know, like, when you have a rough background and you don't have, like, stable people in your life and you already have emotional issues, it's a lot easier for you to be broken, which we talked about with Lana Del Rey in our last episode. But Britney is another, like, perfect example of someone who had a rough childhood, which made her a lot easier to be an MK Ultra victim.
But in 1998, her parents actually filed for bankruptcy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Her dad actually was just like this small town guy. He didn't have any interest in fame or fortune. Lynn, the wife, she was all about it, which is why she was pushing Britney all this time.
Yeah. That mother seems like she has a lot of issues of her own.
But this actually caused a break in their marriage, which would later happen in the coming years. Mm-hmm. But during this time, they sent tapes of Britney singing and pictures to studios, and that's where she was found by Jeff Fenster, who signed her.
Yeah, and she signed to Drive Records, exactly. Yep. Yeah, and then she came out with her first single.
Yep, which was
Hit Me, Baby. Oh, you're right. No, you're right. It is. You're right. I always just sing the song version. Baby One More Time.
Baby One More Time.
In 1998.
And she was a small town girl. She had commercial appeal and a very distinct voice. She's known for her heavy breathing in her songs,
which is very
hot.
Ew. It's very it's very pedophile. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a little girl that has sex appeal. I mean, and it's creepy as fuck.
You can just look at her first music video. She dresses in this Catholic girl outfit, but she shows her belly button and it's super tight.
And she was 16.
Yeah, 16, 17.
That's so weird. And I saw did you see the that Rolling Stones cover where she
with the Teletubby?
Yes, with the Teletubby. She's wearing these poster. Oh my god, of course you did. She's wearing these tiny shorts and a bra, and she's holding a Teletubby. And some of the other images.
Oh, well, okay.
What? Go ahead. No.
Well, actually, when they were filming that, her manager came in and he was like, "No, we can't do this." And then he walked out, and Britney locked the door, and she said, "Okay, let's do this."
Really?
Yeah, she was the one that tried to push her sexuality.
See, I heard that later she said that it was the photographer, and that when she saw them later, she was so uncomfortable. Because there's this one picture where she's standing in front of a wall of dolls, which was in her bedroom.
Yeah, it was actually in her bedroom.
But she is wearing these white, huge high heels. Ew, he's making disgusting faces right now, by the way. And these really tiny PJs, I guess. It's basically a bra and underwear. Yeah. And she's standing in front of a wall of dolls. So it's so sexualized childhood. And she later said that the photographer pushed her. But that's interesting that her manager said something else, which doesn't really surprise me. I mean, I don't want to hate on her too much though, because she was a teen trying to make it. And, of course, pop culture tells us that you have to be, super sexual in order to be successful.
And she had this innocent look. And
exactly.
She was pure, and she knew how to work it. She knew how to make herself look sexy.
Yeah. Sad.
But then she went on her first album. The first single and album both debuted simultaneously at #1, which was a first.
That was a huge song.
Her second album even debuted at #1 and was the fastest selling album by a female artist in pop music.
Wow, actually, what album was that?
Oops, I Did It Again.
Okay.
And actually,
that was a nice little hand gesture he just did. He snapped his fingers.
And I did the finger guns too.
Yeah, exactly, the finger guns. Oh goodness.
But yeah, during this time she was pushing her sexuality, and her life accelerated so quickly, and that she did not even know what normal was.
Yeah, I mean, she really made a huge transition. If you look at videos of her from when she tried out for the Mickey Mouse Club to,
so sweet and
the 98 videos with, Baby One More Time, I mean, yes, she went through puberty, or started to go through puberty, but it's definitely drastic, and, I mean, yeah, she became a sex symbol.
Yeah, and also during this time, she started dating fellow Mouseketeer, Justin Timberlake.
Well, that's true.
And they were, the it couple.
Yeah, they were the it couple.
99 to when they broke in 2002.
Yeah, 2002. And I'll never forget their most iconic
jeans.
Yes, the jeans. He's wearing
So
a Canadian tuxedo, that's what they call it. And she's wearing a jean dress.
Yeah.
And it's so faded. It's so early 2000s. I mean, it's iconic in a terrible way.
I went and bought a jean jacket right after that.
Did you really? Oh my god. Did you think that she would be into you if you dressed like Justin Timberlake?
I was really hoping. I don't think anybody understands the love I have for this.
I may not understand it, but I've seen it enough to be horrified. Though, I mean, to be fair, we all have our quirks.
Taylor Swift. don't give me the death.
Okay, but like, I don't want to have Taylor Swift's babies. It's not a sexual thing.
I don't want to have her babies either. I just want to be Britney's friend.
You just want to be her friend?
Like
really? And that's why you're talking about how hot she is?
Okay, that was before, and then I came to a
Okay,
point.
So now you just want to be her friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, when we go through all of this, I feel like everybody will understand.
That's true. I mean, yeah, okay.
But
let's go into that.
But anyway, Britney and Justin split in 2002 because supposedly she was cheating on him with her choreographer, Wade Robinson.
Really? I never knew that. I always just kind of assumed that her and Justin Timberlake were one of those, like, publicist couples. I never assumed that it was a real relationship.
Supposedly she was head over heels in love with her. I mean, with him.
Yeah, but, like,
vice versa.
When I did this research and, like, learning about, her impending breakdown, I did kind of see that, like, maybe this was a real relationship. I think it was one of those, like, first love things where, like, you're obsessed with each other, you think it's gonna last forever, and when it ends, you don't know what to do with your life. And, like, looking back, maybe it wasn't, like, the kind of love you have as an adult, but it's so intense that you can't see beyond that. Which makes sense that when it ends, you crash and burn sometimes.
And then he went on to write Cry Me a River with the Britney Spears lookalike in the music video. And at this time, Britney, like, okay, so when Britney was first becoming famous, it was really the big rise of paparazzi.
Yes, that's true. That was like the beginning of the paparazzi that we know now.
Yeah, and this was before social media where artists could just be out there on their own. Paparazzi would just follow them, stalk them, take their picture. They could get paid anywhere between $500 and $10,000 for a picture, if not more.
Yeah, because they would like have relationships with the paparazzi and schedule to meet them. Like they would tell them where they're going to be and they would get paid to do it. So it's called like a set up paps shot.
And then also, according to Britney's friends around that time, she was just like, if they want something to talk about, I'll give them something to talk about. And that's when she started being a little bit more sexy, if you will.
Interesting.
But now we're starting to get into our main event. Well, not our main event. Yeah, main event.
Our featured event.
Our featured story.
There you go.
Whew. All right. Well, in 2002, I guess around the time of the split, Britney was rumored to have been caught canoodling with senior Bush White House advisor Carl.
You okay there, dude?
Sorry, Karl Rove during a Cirque
du Soleil show in Rome.
Providing proof of an early link between Washington and Spears.
Will you excuse me? I need to go throw up at the image of Britney Spears and Karl Rove making out because that is fucking gross. Oh my god!
Did you see the picture I sent you of their pictures side by side? It's in the show notes.
Oh yes, I did see that. But like, it's kind of mean because it's like her when she's a little chubbier, so she like has matching.
It was one of the bad paparazzi.
Yeah, so they have like matching double chins. Oh god. No, but I like to think of Britney as, like, together and attractive. But that's gross.
But in 2000... God. Too much... I need a sip of water.
I'm gonna keep going.
Okay.
In 2003, news anchors asked if she's coming out against the war in Iraq, because that was, like, a big topic at the time. You know, that was, like, 2 years after 9/11. Everyone was talking about the war in Iraq.
Which is still going on.
We don't want to get into that. We don't want to get too political. Okay. So she responds by saying, honestly, I think we should just trust our president. Now, remember, this was George Bush.
Good old W.
Yeah, good old W. So she says, I think we should just trust our president and every decision that he makes. And we should just support that, and be faithful in what happens.
And then the reporter goes on to say, do you trust the president?
And she says, yes, I do.
Excellent. do you think he's going to win again?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
There was no about in it. It was just straight up, I don't know that. So.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
What if she... So my idea behind... Because she seemed a little... I don't know the word. In this interview, she seemed a little out of it, I guess.
Drugged.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Which we will get into
Yeah,
later.
I mean, that's not really far off.
But it sounds like she was kind of force-fed what to say.
Yeah, it kind of seemed kind of rehearsed.
Yes.
Like, I mean, most people, if they're asked, like, do you trust the president? That's kind of... To just say, like, yes, I trust him, and like...
Our almighty leader.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, and it's like she was, like, I don't know, it's like when journalists aren't allowed to speak out against the president or they'll get killed. You know, it was just kind of weird. And, like, saying that, like, you trust in every decision that the president makes, I mean, that's strange. And... I don't know. I mean, I do think, like, I don't want to be mean, but, like, I do think she's dumb. I mean, she's dumb. That's true.
She went, she didn't have any, like, real formal education after high school. And she did.
I'm not saying that it's not, like, understandable. I'm just saying it's true. That she's not the most, like, with it. And maybe you can blame drugs, her childhood, you know, like being surrounded by paparazzi all the time and having people like telling her what to do. But, you know, I mean, she's not really with it. I don't think she's really up on current events.
I feel like I just have a really biased opinion.
You definitely have a really biased opinion. That is accurate.
But anyway,
yeah,
so
continue.
Let's skip ahead to the following year, 2004. So the date is January 4th.
5th.
No, it's the 4th. It's the night.
Oh, my notes are wrong. I'm sorry.
She goes to Vegas with her childhood friend Jason Alexander, and they get married.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Okay. Continue.
And then the very next day, it took 55 hours, but the annulment, like altogether took 55 hours. But the next day, her record company took it as a joke that went too far. So lawyers came to the Palms where they were staying, and they brought papers and told Jason that if he really cared about Britney, he would sign them. They made it sound like to him that once it all blows over, him and Britney could work it out.
Yeah, just like don't be married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the papers stated that Britney lacked understanding of her actions to the extent that she was incapable of agreeing to a marriage.
Hello, what have I been saying?
But also during this time, what was going on with Bush?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So President Bush needed to publicly distance himself from the Valerie Plame scandal, whereby Plame, a covert CIA operative, was exposed by a leak from within the Bush administration. So there was drama going on with George Bush, and he needed a distraction. And who was there to help him? Who was there yet again to have his back?
Good old Godney. Mm-hmm. But anyway, 2 months later, it was around that time she started the Onyx Hotel tour. She actually injured her knee during a performance on the 18th of March, and she canceled 2 shows. And then a few months later in June, she was filming her music video for the song Outrageous with Snoop Doggy Dogg. And she injured her knee again, and she had to be in a leg brace. So she had to cancel the Onyx tour, and this is when she met fucking Kevin Federline.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't get me started on that motherfucker.
Oh, he's so protective of her. It's really endearing.
But during this time, he was dating Cher Jackson, who had one of his children.
Kevin was?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was dating Cher Jackson during this time, who he had a child with, and she was also 7 months pregnant with their other child.
Whoa. And he cheated on her with Britney?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
And then, like, 3 months
telling.
later, Britney and Kevin get married.
So the other woman hadn't even given birth yet?
Nope.
Oh, my God. And he was getting married.
Yep.
Wow.
To the pop icon, Britney motherfucking Spears.
Wow, that's endearing.
Getting so many death stares right now. But no, Britney would later go on to say about her marriage that she said, did it for all the wrong reasons. Instead of following my heart and doing something that made me happy, I just did it for the idea of everything. Like, really, during this time, she broke so many records. She did everything she could. She became a pop icon that people still, like, idolize till this day. And that other performers, like, try and become.
Yeah, model their careers after her. But I really think it's one of those things where someone who came from a broken family, who had, like doesn't have a lot of people she can rely on in her life. Mm-hmm. She just has people telling her what to do. She was looking for that missing aspect, which was a family. So she met him. She thought, like, maybe I can...
It could be your happy ever after.
Yeah, so she, like, it's kind of like Kim Kardashian with her Chris Humphries, Humphries, where, like, I think she was in love with the idea of being in love. Like,
I think she was in love with the idea of ratings.
Shut up. She was in love. This is someone who I'll protect. She was in love with the idea that she could get married and have a happy family. And I think that that's very similar to what was happening with Britney. She met this guy, and she thought, let's get married. We can have it all. And my life will, like, I won't have this hole in my heart anymore, which is really fucking sad.
Yeah. And, like, during this time, she took a career break.
Really?
Yeah. She released, if I do recall, a greatest hits album.
Oh, yeah.
And it also had, she redid the song Prerogative, which was, like, her hit.
And what year was this again?
2004.
2004, okay.
So, in December, she called into Kiss FM in Burbank, California.
No, go ahead.
This is...
I just know you're going to go ahead. No, go ahead. I want to hear.
This is right before New Year's Eve. And she asked if she could play her new song. Mm-hmm. So she ended up coming to the station, talking about how she was planning a CD called Original Doll. Mm-hmm. And she debuted her song Mona Lisa. But it was pulled. Well,
she did not get approval from her record company. She did it without their approval, and they ended up pulling the EP.
Yep, and they said it was never even planned. Like, nothing was planned for Original Doll.
Yeah, so it seems like it was entirely her.
But if you listen to the lyrics,
mm-hmm.
This is maybe a little cry for help, but she's saying she's the original, she's unforgettable, she wants you to know she's been cloned. It's kind of incredible, she's so unpredictable, she wants you to know she's been cloned, she's been cloned, she's been cloned.
You know, it was interesting when I was doing this research, I came across people discussing this song because it is very, like, alarming. It does sound like a cry for help. She's kind of talking about how there's, like, two versions of herself. Mm-hmm. And I was actually watching it, and I was never a huge Britney Spears fan, but I remember this song. Like, I remember watching that music video. Because isn't there a music video?
No. This, it was actually, it was finally put out with her 3-track EP, Chaotic, which went along with her terrible reality, quotation marks, TV show that was on UPN in 2005.
She had a reality TV show?
Yeah, it was all done with, like, handheld cameras with her and Kevin.
Oh, man.
It was...
Oh, man. Have you watched it? Of course you have. Of course you've watched it.
It really hurt to hear her talking about sex with K-Fed, but... Just...
It hurt.
It hurt my heart. Which actually eventually led to her getting pregnant with her first son, Sean Preston.
You mean the sex led to her getting pregnant?
Yeah. I mean,
that makes sense.
That's usually how it happens.
It was just the way you put that was funny.
But no, so I guess the next thing that we will get to is in February 2006, there were pictures surfaced of Britney driving with Sean Preston in her lap of her car.
Yeah,
and she got tons of backlash on that.
That was a huge deal.
But also during this time, what was going on with W?
OW. So George Bush's approval ratings had hit an all-time low of 38%, thanks to, of course, the endless casualties of the controversial Iraq War. And it just happened to coincide with Britney's child issues. So, like, at this time, she also had a visit from child welfare. So, like, after the, like, baby on the lap incident.
Because she almost dropped him, too, while walking down the street. And there was something about him falling out of a high chair.
Yes, there was a report that when they were at home, the child had fell out of a high chair. So, child welfare services visited, and also, like, the sheriff's department. And they went to the home to talk to Britney about her parenting skills. And I also heard that she was, like, drunk at the time, like, when they visited. I don't know. It was kind of a mess. But it just happened to coincide with George Bush having issues again and needing a distraction.
Well, in November, I was so happy when this happened. November 2006, Britney files for divorce from Federline due to
irreconcilable differences.
Yeah.
That's what all celebrities file for, because they don't want to, like, actually comment on what happened in their marriage. Like, that's just a blanket term for, like, we're getting divorced. Okay, sorry.
Oh, you're good. Well, now, what was going on with Bush?
Oh, in November 2006?
Yeah.
Well, the Republican Party was facing a very fiercely contested election. And 33 Senate seats and 435 House seats were available. And goodness.
Republican?
No, I was actually trying to say public opinion. Was, like, not in their favor. I mean, people, after what was going on with the war, people were fed up with Republicans. And yet again, Britney swooped in to have some drama to distract from the Republican Party's issues, which, of course, George Bush would be a part of, since he's the head of the Republican Party as president.
Well, after the divorce, she started partying with Paris Hilton.
Oh, God.
yeah, tell me about it. And she... I don't know how this guy comes... I don't know when this guy showed up, but Sam Lutfi.
Oh, God, Lutfi. Sam Lutfi. Talk about fucking assholes.
Or can we call him by his real name, Osama Lutfi?
What?
Yeah.
Are you just...
No, that's real.
That's real?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were being, like, xenophobic or something. No, you're just... Okay, no, wow. I did not know that.
His real name is Osama Lutfi. He was a close friend of Britney, confidant, and unofficial mouthpiece. And he really enabled her behavior during this time.
He also became her manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, quote-unquote manager.
So you hate Kevin Federline. I hate Sam Lutfi. He is my...
this motherfucker, too.
I hate him so much.
Well, supposedly, according to somebody that knows him, Simon Monjack, this guy went on to say he's a master manipulator, and he also tried to make my good friend Danny Haynes kill himself.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he definitely has, like, a history of having issues.
Because Sam had stolen a total of around $18,000 from Danny, using his credit cards to buy plane tickets for himself and from forging his checks that the credit card companies send you for cash advances.
Wow.
So what is he doing with Britney Spears?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to get into this a little bit later with our next thing that we're going to go into with Sam Lutfi, because there's definitely a lot of drama surrounding him, and yeah.
And who else he connects to.
I mean, he's a bad guy. So.
And yeah, we will touch, because there's somebody else that comes into play too. I don't know if you.
I don't know. Well, let's find out.
We have a few more months in 2007 to go over.
Yeah, we have a few more Britney meltdown things to discuss.
So in February 2007, Spears spent a single night at a drug rehab facility. It was on the following night that the infamous head shaving incident took place.
Yeah, was she crept out, she snuck out of rehab, shaved her head, and she assaulted a paparazzi van with an umbrella. That was a huge deal.
Mm-hmm. But
and what does it coincide with?
What does it coincide? Oh.
Our favorite character.
Well, let's go over the whole entire, like, the 2 days that led up to this.
Okay,
Because
go ahead.
A lot happened.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, she led paparazzi on a high-speed car chase to a hair salon in a rundown part of L.A. It was called Ethers? Yeah. It was owned by Ether Tognazzi. She said Britney just came in, sat down, and Ether was just like, "What can I do for you?" And she's like, "Shave off my hair." And she was like, are you sure you really want to do this? And the next morning, you're going to see it and you're going to freak out, or something along those lines.
Yeah, and the hairdresser actually refused.
Yeah, but she turned around, and while she did, Britney took
like shears.
Yeah,
like,
shears.
Like a razor, or like whatever you shave heads.
It
with.
was for a beard, I believe. Too.
Yeah, I think it was like a beard trimmer. It was like one of those electric razors.
Yeah. And homegirl Ether was super surprised that I actually didn't like die shaving off all her hair.
What?
The razor.
Oh, I thought you meant Britney. Like, I don't think people die from haircuts. Like, what am I missing? Okay, yeah,
that had enough juice to actually shave off all of her hair.
Well, you think it like would get clogged since it's supposed to be for like beards. Yeah, that makes sense.
But during this time, Britney's guard, kept on opening up the closed blinds.
Like they wanted people to see.
Yeah. And little did Ether know, but there were a bunch of photographers out there, which is why they got such good photos of Britney shaving off her hair.
Didn't they have like a video of her?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was well documented. It was like...
And this raises the question, though, like, is this a plea for help or for publicity?
Yeah. Was it a plea for help or was it a publicity stunt? And why would she want to do a publicity stunt?
Yeah, exactly. It's all connected.
Actually... I was referring to more...
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, after that, she went to a tattoo shop and got a tattoo.
Yeah.
5 days later, she went to K-Fed to see her sons. He refused to let her in. The Paps followed her to a gas station, which is when the umbrella incident happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
It was 5 days later
I didn't realize that. It's always lumped together. Like, as I always think that it was like right afterwards, but okay.
And then what happened with our good pal Bushy?
Well, it coincided with George Bush, of course. He announced that Al-Qaeda had reformed, which would be very damaging to his presidency, because with the whole thing in like after 9/11, he promised, like, that was his goal. He was going to shut down Al-Qaeda. But he failed. Mm-hmm. I mean, George Bush fucking failed. And his good friend Brit was on the scene, ready to have a public meltdown.
So then, this was the following month in March. Well, she checked herself into rehab. She was there. She was out in a month and says it was unnecessary. During this time, she meets Jason Filia, the guitarist from Riva, and supposedly they had a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
He went on to say, "I love her. I support her 100%, and we are close." They also attended a few AA meetings together, and he helped her with her spirituality.
Oh God! Oh God!
But during this, something else was going on, too.
Something else, of course, was going on. There was controversy with President Bush's attorney, General Alberto Gonzalez. He was coming under heavy criticism that would later lead to his resignation because he fired 8 U.S. attorneys. And the firings were found to have been heavily influenced by assessments of the prosecutor's political loyalty to the Bush administration. And, you know, this could have been really awkward. And on the same day, Gonzalez publicly admitted that mistakes were made. But no one was talking about that because Britney had hooked up with someone in rehab. And he was helping her with her spirituality. Ugh. God. If a guy ever tells me he wants to help me with my spirituality, I'm just going to walk away. Maybe punch him first. No, I don't condone violence, but it's probably worth it. And he's probably a douchebag.
Right in the balls.
Yeah. Well, I know how.
But if I do believe that's the rest of the whole Bush being behind her meltdown, but there's more.
Well, okay, let me wrap this up. So, after this, she seemingly got her life together.
Seemingly.
Yeah, because, and I think it was in January of 2008. I think she went back to rehab. She was checked back into rehab. And then after that, she seemed to get her life together.
Well, okay, let's rewind a little bit. Still in 2007.
Oh.
So, in about December, around that time, she started a relationship with one of the paparazzi.
Oh, right.
Adnan Ghalib.
Yes.
And supposedly they were with each other daily. He was in cahoots with Sam Lutfi.
I did not know that. Of course, that, God. Just what an evil asshole.
But, he actually had to testify in court, I think it was 2012, during what happened in the following month with Britney, with her breakdown and being sent back to rehab.
Yeah, there was a huge court case with Sam Lutfi. He was suing Britney's parents because Britney's mom came out with a book where she called him controlling and abusive and said that he played on Britney's insecurities. So he was suing the parents for defamation.
Well, this is what Adnan said in court. Asked how often he was with Spears, he quietly replied, daily. I was there every day. Adnan, who was subpoenaed to appear in the case, denied he ever saw Spears' former pal Sam Lutfi hide cell phones from the singer or withhold access to her dog London. Instead, Adnan alleged that Spears' mom, Lynn, once tried to coerce him. She requested that I say to the media Sam Lutfi was responsible for Britney Spears' behavior.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Britney's mom was obviously not a fan of Sam Lutfi. And, there was some drama where, the mom said, in court, the mom said that Sam Lutfi was the reason that she did not have a relationship with her daughter, because they were estranged at the time.
Yeah.
But Sam Lutfi said that he was actually trying to get them to make up, and he actually, he produced a photo of the mom with Lynn and Britney, and I think maybe the dad too, and said that he took the photo and that he was the one who actually got them to meet up.
Huh.
So I don't know. It's very he said, she said.
But also back to 2007, Adnan paints quite a sad picture of Britney Spears.
Yeah. I mean, what part of this isn't sad?
Well, he explained Christmas 2007, Britney couldn't see her boys. She couldn't see her kids and wanted cheering up, so we drove from her Beverly Hills home to her rented mansion in Malibu to get away from the city. But when we went into the living room, the sight of the Christmas tree and gifts for her boys just broke her. She couldn't stop sobbing. She knelt before the tree and started opening the boys' presents. She looked forlorn as she unwrapped Sean's truck. Then she slumped on her carpet and bawled her eyes out.
When did this come out in the trial?
No, this actually happened afterwards. He started speaking out again.
That's messed up. That's not cool. You're in a relationship with someone, you trust them, and then they go to the public and talk about this very intimate, sad moment.
But he also said
okay.
more about around that time. He claimed that her staff was pumping her full of pills despite the negative effect they had on her.
Yeah.
He revealed it was mainly Adderall, which is legal speed to the mind.
Yeah.
She would have dozens of boxes around the house and take them all the time.
Boxes of Adderall?
Yeah.
Damn.
Staff gave her pills saying, "Here are your vitamins." And within a few minutes, her pupils were bulging and she would be wound up and frantic. She would also drink Red Bull all day, as many as 15 cans. She would
Oh my God.
She would talk to you for hours. It seemed the substances suppressed her appetite too. All she wanted to eat was Cheetos and Cheez-It crisps.
Oh my God.
She was going through 40 cigarettes a day. All of a sudden, at certain times of the day, she'd just stop and crash on the sofa for hours.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me because with the whole lawsuit thing, Britney's mom did say that Sam Lufty was drugging her. That, like, so, I mean, basically saying that he was responsible for her breakdown because you're pumping someone full of drugs. I mean, taking Adderall all day is already insane. And drinking 15, like, I can't even finish one Red Bull in a day. Like, that's too much for me. 15? God, imagine the migraines she got. I couldn't imagine. And then, of course, like, then she gets addicted and has to. And, I mean, not just the Adderall, like, you get addicted to caffeine. Like, your body starts, like, needing that much caffeine. God, 40 cigarettes?
Well, luckily, the very next month, she went back to rehab. The police arrived. This was in January 2008.
Okay, yeah.
Which is the winding down of W's second term.
Yeah, because 2008, of course, was when Obama got elected. And so... at this time, she goes back into rehab, and she starts, like, she gets her life together.
Yeah, this is really when she started getting everything together, and the meltdown was all behind her. Yeah,
she, like, reconnects with her family, and I think she starts spending more time with her boys. I mean, she really starts to... I mean, I think we also just don't hear from her as much. She kind of takes a break.
And that year, she also, like, staging, like, a mini comeback. She started guest starring on TV shows like How I Met Your Mother and Will and Grace.
And wasn't that when she went on the X Factor?
No, that was until 2012.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But, yeah, so 2008, once she left rehab again after the 5150 psychiatric hold, she started really getting her life together. And this is where the fucking shit.
Oh my God! I was having trouble with this word too. Conservationship. Is that it?
Yeah.
Conservative. Okay.
We are the worst podcasters
oh my
in the
God.
world.
I did look it up. Okay, what it is it's when the court mandates that someone else is in control of your finances and just like all the...
Pretty much everything.
Yeah, everything in your life. And her father is the one who's awarded, right?
Yep. And the sad thing is he still has it.
Yeah, he does.
This day.
He does, which is insane.
I want to go back to one last thing that Adnan said. This is what Britney said. She wanted to quit music and settle down with a growing family. She said, "I don't care about the money. I want to be me again. Britney Jean. I love my fans, but I love my boys more." One time she said, "Let's leave here and move to your home in England."
That's so sad. It really feels like she got this life that she didn't want. Yeah. Like, you think you want it when you're a teenager, but once you see the reality of it, it becomes too much for a lot of people.
And she's being pushed into this since age 5. Like, she's been in the spotlight for her whole entire life.
And at this point, I really feel like she feels like she doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, especially after the hold. In 2008, she was staging a mini comeback, and then she started getting better, and then she came out with her 6th studio album, Circus, which... Shut your mouth. That's the one I put you for.
I may have mentioned an event in the beginning of the podcast, and this was the album that he was in pursuit of. Continue. I really love telling this story. It is one of my favorite stories to tell, to make his face go red.
Most of my most awkward stories revolve around Britney Spears.
Yep. True fact. True story.
Like that one time. Never mind. Anyway.
I wonder if there are more stories I don't know about. Probably. He does have a paper cutout of Britney Spears that looks like a cross.
It is a cross. It is the only cross in my apartment, and it is the Holy Spirit.
That is, like, I make fun of it, but I'd much prefer you have that than a regular cross.
Why do you think
I'd
my other
I'd
cross?
make fun of that cross, like a regular cross, a lot more. But we don't really need to get into that. So I do kind of want to make a transition here. Are you done with the George Bush stuff? I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Thank God we're dodging that other awkward story.
God, I feel like I'm missing something. Tell me.
So this is way back in the day.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Let me get my popcorn.
Actually, not way back. So I was seeing this girl, and we were doing some stuff. If you know what I mean.
Were we friends at this point?
Yes.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. Continue. I won't say any names.
And so we're in the middle, and my computer's on iTunes on shuffle.
Oh my god.
Just playing some normal music, whatever.
Let's get it
what
on.
have you. Actually, I think it was some shitty early 2010s like dubstep probably. Because that was the time when that was popular.
It seems like awkward music to have sex to. Okay, sorry.
So anyway,
it's gonna get worse.
During this, the song stops, and the next song that plays, out of all the songs, it's "Lucky." Which is
Why don't you sing a little snippet for us?
She's so lucky.
Oh my god.
She's a star.
Oh my
she
god.
cries.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that song starts playing.
Oh,
we stop.
Yeah.
She gets up. She looks at me. She's like, "Is that Britney Spears?"
Did she ask you to leave her apartment?
Oh, it was my apartment.
Oh, well, you were lucky there.
But no, so we're just sitting there, and she's like, "Is that Britney Spears?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "So do you just listen to Britney Spears?" I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Just for fun?" I was like, "Yeah." And yeah, that was that. Awkward.
Do I ask if you went back to having sex?
Yeah, we did actually.
Oh, okay.
Once I changed the song.
Yeah, well, obviously. Okay, so it could have been worse. She could have just like been weirded out and wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, I have some more embarrassing stories. I just remembered about Britney, but I don't think I want to go there because I don't know. He's giving me a really terrified look right now.
I want to know, but I don't want the listeners to know. When the mics go off, we'll talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
I'll make a mental note of that.
And any listeners can just message me, and I'll tell you the story. Okay, so now that I've gotten through embarrassing Alex some more, let's go into another aspect of the conspiracy that we want to discuss.
Okay, let's do this.
Which, of course, ties into our last episode.
MK Ultra.
Who are we talking about?
Britney Spears.
And?
MK Ultra.
Yeah! Okay.
Because it's all connected.
It's all connected. And so we may have to go over a couple of things we discussed just in a different context. So, as I was talking about earlier, Britney Spears was a perfect candidate for brainwashing. So, she joins the Mickey Mouse Club, and this is when she went through her programming. And I was talking about how she made like such a drastic transition from like, the little beauty queen, like not overly sexualized, just like little kid.
Just like a little girl that could sing.
Into like a sex kitten. I hate that term, but it's so appropriate. So
Wow.
So I think that this is when, well, I think.
Some people say.
Some people say. Some people say this is when she went through her programming. And this also ties into Britney's breakdown. So Britney's breakdown, she was like 26 when it all got intense. Like, well, she was younger when it first started going downhill. Because it was like in 2002 that it first started going downhill. Yeah. But like when it hit its peak, which was like 2007, I think she was 26. And I've read that around age 30 is a very
25.
She was 25. Okay. Around age 30 is a very predictable time that MK Ultra victims will have a breakdown. Because if you think about it, like, they've been being brainwashed and controlled and abused for decades. So, like, people can only take that for so long before they lose it. So, basically, like, you can say, like, the programming failed, and a lot of MK Ultra victims like do succumb to drug abuse, which it could be debated whether their handlers force the drug abuse on them because they're trying to break out, like, because the victims are trying to break out of control.
Yeah, which is why they wouldn't let her testify during the case with Sam Lutfi.
Yes, but I want to go into that a little bit later. Yeah. So, and it's not unheard of for MKUltra victims to have mysterious drug deaths when they start trying to break out of break out of their programming.
Does this kind of go in with like the 27 Club?
No, that's not what I'm going into. Well, I mean, maybe, but that's not what I'm focusing on. Like, just examples is Marilyn Monroe, Judy Garland, Anna Nicole Smith. I mean, they all had, like...
What didn't Marilyn have to do a little bit with JFK?
Maybe. I mean, it is what is classified as a mysterious drug death. Mm-hmm. Drugs were involved, but people have a lot of questions. Same as Anna Nicole Smith.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean... Yeah, we can. I think that maybe is something.
Which this is actually around the same time as Britney's meltdown too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Okay. So another side effect that I want to talk about with MKUltra is multiple personality disorder,
which shows up so much in some of her interviews during that time.
Britney is known for having different personalities. The best known one.
The British accent?
The British accent, yes. Or as her friends call it, the British girl. So the reason that MKUltra victims tend to have this multiple personality disorder is that they are taught to disassociate from reality and take on different personas. And so, I mean, we have a clinical term for people who have different personalities and often don't even remember what they did when they were the other personality. Mm-hmm. And, multiple personality disorder. So, like, you could say that monarch programming, which, of course, if you haven't listened to our last episode, you should, but MKUltra is monarch programming. So I use the terms intermittently. So monarch programming has been considered manufactured multiple personality disorder because, they're teaching these victims to separate from their reality and behave the way they're told. So, so the Illuminati can have them have the influence that they want. Mm-hmm. So they're teaching them how to behave. And Britney, of course, has a history of this. Her friends have talked about how, she's had friends of hers say that they think that she has multiple personality disorder.
Well, she does have something, which is why I kind of relate to her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously she has mental problems. She has, some sort of, mental health issue.
I mean, she is bipolar.
Yeah, that's yeah. But okay, within this realm that we're talking about.
No, I'm being the skeptic for once.
Yeah, I know. I actually was doing this research and I was actually starting to believe it, which is insane because I'm the Scully.
Her rules are reversed.
I know. I think it's because you're the one who has the emotional attachment to Britney, so you're more inclined to believe that she's a real person.
But some of the stuff is really fishy, though.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Seriously. So
there's still a little bit of a believer in me.
Well, that's good. Not all hope is lost. So with her multiple personalities, her friends have even said that when she goes into the British girl personality, mm-hmm. she does not remember doing it when she comes out.
Really?
Which is crazy.
I always thought she was kind of joking with it, because Madonna did the same thing, and that's her idol.
When you watch the videos, yeah, it seems like she's joking. And I mean, I guess you could debate whether these are reliable sources, but this is paranoid disposition. We're supposed to believe, right?
Where we go down the rabbit hole of the internet.
Exactly. So yeah, so they say that she doesn't even remember, which is something that happens with multiple personality disorder. People will have multiple personalities, and they don't remember when they're in a certain personality versus another. So when she starts having her breakdown, we call this that the programming is failing. Mm-hmm. So
is this where MKUltra 2.0 comes into play?
Not yet. It does come into this though. So we were talking a little bit about. Well, actually, first let me tell you about this. Okay, in 2006, it is believed, some people say, that Britney was trying to tell her fans that she was being controlled. So in 2006, she was still allowed to control her website.
Oh.
And eventually...
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So at this time, she put a song on her website, and it was on loop. So, like, the song would play continually. Because that was, like, a thing back then. Like,
The
songs...
most annoying thing in the world.
Oh, yeah, I know. But the weird thing is that it was the song Rebellion. But that was not a single at the time. Like, you would think that they would be promoting the song that should be playing on the radio, but they're not.
Leaving little clues.
Exactly. And the lyrics are weird.
What are the lyrics?
Okay. Be wary of others, the ones closest to you, which could be a reference to the people that control her, like not trusting people that control her. Okay, and then it goes, the poison they feed you and the voodoo they do. Poison, drugs, voodoo, electroshock. But in rebellion, there's a sparkle of truth. Don't just stand there. Do what you've got to do. Cry for help. So, it's believed she was trying to tell her fans, like, I'm being controlled. They're feeding me drugs. They're abusing me. Help me. Like, I'm trying to rebel against this. So, another thing that is common with her breakdown is rehab, right? Yeah. Well, rehab could just be code for programming. So all the times that she's checked into rehab, they're attempting to reprogram her to get her back on track.
Yeah.
So the incident where she, like, breaks out of rehab and goes to shave her head, the idea, like, so she goes to this this salon, and the people that were in the salon have quotes of what she said at the time. And she said, I don't want anyone touching me. I'm tired of everyone touching me. Which is hella weird.
Yeah.
So there is a big thing in MK Ultra that a lot of the female victims, part of their, this is gross, but like use is sex.
Yeah, because a lot of them are sex slaves.
Exactly. A lot of them are sex slaves. And obviously Britney served more purposes than this. I feel gross talking about a woman this way. Disclaimer. But there also is a level to, like, these pop stars that are being controlled by MK Ultra, or like actresses or whatever. They're highly desired women. They're very desired. So the idea is that, like, not only is, like, the Illuminati controlling them, they also are using them to, like, influence, like, politics or business. So, like, tons of men want to sleep with Britney Spears.
Sure.
From personal experience. And so that makes her very desirable, which makes her usable. Yeah. So basically, she's a pawn. So the idea of why she cut her hair is so they could no longer use her as a sex object, because she kind of got scary looking.
But the other theory, too, is that she did it because they were going to drug test her, and she didn't want to lose custody
of her children. Well, that's the, like, reality. Like, that's, like, the true story.
Damn it, why am I
That's
being a
not
skeptic?
what we're talking about. The real reason is because she wanted to stop being a sex slave. So, another thing that was going on is that during this rebellion, the media was going crazy, right? They were calling her a drug user. They were calling her crazy, an unfit mother. Well, maybe that was some sort of revenge or, like, a way of controlling her, that the Illuminati were telling the media to spread this message, to, like, make her look crazy and make her look bad. It was the Illuminati threatening her. And one of the big threats was that they were going to take her children away. Because remember how, like, Child Protective Services came to her house? Yeah. Well, the Illuminati sent them because it was like, either get in line and like go forward with your programming, stop rebelling, or we're going to take everything that you enjoy out of life away from you. He looks really sad right now. It is really.
This whole entire thing is super sad.
It's really, really sad. So eventually, like shortly after she's threatened by Child Protective Services, she's taken to the hospital. And this was the January 2008.
Yeah.
And so the hospital that she's taken to is Cedars-Sinai Hospital, which is the same hospital that Michael Jackson was seen leaving several times. And of course,
That's a big one.
Michael Jackson is another rumored MK Ultra victim.
Which is another episode that we'll get into.
Yes, we will get into that. So another weird thing is that when she was taken to that hospital, the media reported as her being under the influence. But drug tests said otherwise.
What did they say?
That she was clean. What else would it say? So,
well, supposedly the police arrived at her house and she was intoxicated in the presence of her sons.
Of course they said that. Because the Illuminati told them to say that.
It's all connected.
Because they were trying to make her look crazy.
You drive me crazy. I just can't sleep.
So the assumption is that this is the programming that finally sticks. Things get bad enough. She's worried she's going to lose her children. So she goes along with being reprogrammed. And so, I mean, after this is where MK Ultra programming 2.0 comes in.
Okay, here we go.
Because she seems like she's being the Britney Spears that we see today is very different from the Britney Spears we used to see.
Oh yeah.
She seems very different. She seems very detached.
I mean, we'll go on.
She seems very detached. So the assumption is that they reprogrammed her with like a newer, better technique.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I was going to say, she did go through that slump, which we're talking about right now. But as of recently, especially with her redoing her show in Vegas, she does seem a lot more into it now.
I've actually sent pictures of her on the red carpet to my our good friend Stephanie.
Yeah.
I've sent her pictures and been look at her eyes. She looks like a robot. She just stands and poses and smiles.
Yeah.
And it's so fake looking. It's so she's following orders. People call her soulless now because that's how she comes across.
Well, the thing is too, oh god, I sound like such a skeptic now. What's that reversed? But she is under medication now for her disorder, and I've been on medication before, and I can tell that look in her eye, you're not with it, you're kind of just. There is a robotic state that you can get to if you're not on the right medication, or if they're forcing you on a certain medication.
I guess that didn't occur to me because she doesn't have I don't know. I mean, she doesn't have the drugged look that I think of as a medication for mental health issues. I mean, obviously I've been on them too. And I didn't get I don't know. I didn't mean that in you don't. I'm sorry. You know what I'm trying to say.
I'm gonna walk right out of here.
She's trying to one-up me with her mental health. God damn it. No, I just mean, I don't know. She looks like a robot to me. We're staring. Doing a stare down. So...
Continue what you're saying.
Yeah, so, now I do...
Way too sidetracked right
I
now.
do want to talk about the lawsuit with Sam Lufty.
Okay.
Because that comes into the whole programming thing. So, as we said, Sam Lufty was her ex-manager and also just, controlled her life.
Yeah.
And he was suing her parents because Spears' mom released a book in which she portrayed Lufty as a gatekeeper, preying on Spears' vulnerabilities and cutting off her communication with her family. And my, oh my, doesn't that sound like a handler? It sounds a hell of a lot like a handler to me.
Yeah.
He was drugging her. He wasn't letting her talk to her friends and family. He was like using her issues to control her, which is what MK Ultra programming does. So the lawsuits, I mean, in the lawsuit, her ex nanny came forward.
Yeah.
And she even referred to Lufty as her handler, which is bizarre.
Did she? I read that she said that they were feeding her pills and they were completely controlling her.
Yeah, but she even used the term handler, which is alarming.
Well, who else has he handled? There's somebody else that had a breakdown recently in the past, 4 years? 4 years
Lindsay
ago?
Lohan. He
Somebody
went on
else.
Courtney Love.
Somebody else.
But he did go on to manage Courtney Love.
There's also another big one that had.
Demi Lovato.
No. Wait, did he?
No, I'm just naming people who've had meltdowns.
Okay, well, it was Amanda Bynes.
Oh, duh. Oh, my gosh. I guess I didn't think that she was, important enough. Oh, that was kind of mean. Well, she's not important now. She used to be important. So, wait, he managed Amanda Bynes, too?
Well, he was with her around the time of her breakdown.
Wow. Because he also was involved with Courtney Love.
Yeah, he's involved with a lot of
yeah,
fucked up situations.
I think Lindsay Lohan, too.
Yeah, I
and
did
all
read that.
of these women, they all can be applied to this equation, childhood issues being put in the spotlight too early, issues with drugs, meltdowns.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. Exactly.
All right, well, go on. Sorry, another sidetrack. I'm really good at that today.
Well, I did read that Sam Lufty, closely monitored her internet access and, cell phone usage, because he was, controlling who she was talking to. But even after Lufty was out of the equation and, her parents had taken over control, she still has limited internet access. And during this lawsuit, not only did she have limited internet access, but Sam Lufty's lawyers was trying to get her to have to testify. But the court mandated that she wasn't fit enough and that it would have, irreconcilable, damage on her psyche.
And they also said that it could break her, too.
Yeah, that it could break her. Which...
Because once she sees what's really happening...
Well, MK Ultra victims are programmed to deconstruct, or no, not deconstruct, sorry, self-destruct if they read about what's happening. If they find out that they're being controlled, exactly. So, they didn't want her getting on the internet or, facing this guy who was controlling her and learning that he was controlling her.
Yeah.
Because even if they weren't going to, obviously they aren't going to discuss MK Ultra in a trial, they're still going to talk about the fact that she was being controlled, which could be a trigger. But thankfully, I guess you could say thankfully, she has gotten her life together. She has a comeback. She has, that terrible song with G-Eazy, which Alex loves. And, she's doing better.
And she has a residency in Las Vegas.
And she has a residency in Las Vegas.
She does seem a lot happier, even though she still is being controlled.
But go on her Instagram and you'll see that she's dead behind the eyes. She is. It's sad.
But she still has those moves. She just doesn't use them in her...
Oh, yeah. She can still dance.
Which, really... the reason why Britney was so popular and such a big star, she knew how to work it. She knew how to own a stage.
Yeah.
Which you could tell.
She has she has that stage presence.
Yeah.
She has that it factor that makes her a good performer.
Which, over the years it's declined, especially with 40 cigarettes a day.
Yeah. I've also heard that her voice has declined and that she's also not as involved with making her music anymore.
Yeah.
She doesn't write it herself. She just goes in, does what they say and leaves.
That really goes over the whole MK Ultra and her being controlled too.
Yeah, and it also goes to show that she was reprogrammed with a much more effective programming.
MK Ultra 2.0.
Exactly.
But
so, Britney's still a victim. She's still being controlled.
as much
Should
as
we go to California? Like, should we do something? I guess we need to go to, like, Las Vegas.
Damn straight.
I don't want to watch her perform. I want to go save her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
I would
okay,
love
good.
for her to just get out of her contract, get her life back together, and just go somewhere with her kids and just be happy.
Like kind of get off the grid.
Yeah. Like, that's...
But we all know
that's all that I want
the
for her.
Illuminati would never let her.
That's sad. And
They
this
would
is why
never
this is
let
why
her.
it's such a sad story.
It is a really sad story. Because even if you don't believe that she's being controlled by MK Ultra,
She's
still being controlled. She still obviously has a lot of mental health issues, and that's like nothing to be ashamed about. That's nothing weird.
People should be proud of their mental issues.
Yeah, because
not proud, but you should.
like proud that you are continuing with your life,
Exactly.
that you're fighting. Like, having mental health issues doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you, like, less strong than anybody else.
It makes you a stronger person, I believe.
Exactly, because you're someone who is dealing with something that, you know, not everybody understands, not everybody deals with.
On top of regular life, which most
on top
people
of
can't
regular
even get
life,
through.
exactly. And, you know, you're fighting yourself, which is a really scary concept. So, stay strong, Brit.
I love you.
I kind of love you after this. You still annoy me.
Do you have a new appreciation for Britney Spears after this episode?
I have.
Because I hope so.
I don't have a new appreciation for her music, but I have a new appreciation for her as a person. Like, I get your struggle. I mean, kind of. I've never been controlled by MK Ultra, but I have had mental health issues, so I get that part.
All right, well, guys, I believe that this is the end of the episode. We will see you next week. You can follow us on Instagram at Paranoid Disposition. Our Twitter is Paranoid Dispo.
Our Facebook is Paranoid Disposition.
Please become one of our fans.
Yeah.
Because we
like our page.
we post some
follow
good stuff
us.
daily.
We post some dank memes, bro.
Yeah.
Alex is the king of conspiracy memes, so he's killing it. Go give him some love.
Come on, guys.
And then if you like us on a personal level, like not, you know what I mean?
If
Like,
you want to stalk us personally.
if you want to stalk us, you can stalk me at Chronically Enchanted and Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex Smith.
Hi. That's also his Instagram name.
Well, guys, we'll see you next week. Remember, keep an open mind.
But don't be an idiot. Bye.
Bye.